My name is Nicole. I'm a second year medical student and I managed to get an A in A-level chemistry when I started off with B's and C's. Throughout year 12, I was on a B and C. I never saw an A once, not even a mock. And this was concerning for me because I needed an A to study medicine. But anyways, bit of backstory. I decided I wanted to become a doctor in year 9. I knew I would need A-level chemistry. I did pretty well in my GCSEs. I got an 8, which is an A star. Can't lie to you, that was all my free science lessons. Would make notes from his videos, would do exam questions. If I was stuck, I'd bring them to my teacher. That's all I did for GCSE. A-level was where it got tough, right? So I got an 8, which meant that I could do A-level chemistry. First few weeks of A-level chem, most of the people in my class, they stayed at their school sixth form. So I moved to another sixth form. Most people stayed. They had fantastic chemistry teachers. So I was always the confused one. I remember I did not know what the word aqueous meant until I got to sixth form because the teaching at my secondary school just was not up to standard. Because like I said, it was me in free science lessons. Miss Moomin, actually, you came through, but you came in year 11 and then we had lockdown. But she was really helpful. But anyways, I just remember really struggling in A-level chemistry. I used to dread going to lessons. I remember one time, it was so peak, my teacher literally tapped me on my head like, "Oh, Nicole." And that's when this is so sad. And then my teacher, Mr. Beach, right, so this is a chit chat vlog because that's just how I am, right? He used to give us tests weekly and he used to make us read our scores to the class. And I remember one time I got the lowest and it was the equivalent to a C. And this was the first time of year 12, so this is not even bad. But remember, I'm thinking about medicine. I need an A. And I just remember being so upset. But he reassured me saying that, "Nicole, you're in year 12. Don't worry." So let me get on to the tips and then I'll talk more about myself. So first tip is make notes from class. When your teacher is teaching, my school was fantastic. Literally, we had the things that we needed to learn. So if you don't have that, go in your A-level specification. Mine was AQA, so it has a list of everything you need to know, a list of what you need to know in year 12, a list for what you need to know in year 13. Go with what your school is teaching you. So if it's like organic chemistry, which you won't do in year 12, go on the organic chemistry section of your specification and learn from there. It will say students need to know this, so make notes of that. Students need to know that. So unfortunately, I think I threw away all my books. Went to my mum's house, but they're not that helpful. But I had notes of everything. Make sure they're clear and concise. And then what I did as well, which is a bit time consuming. Oh my gosh, I don't have my iPad, but I also don't have the notes anymore. But I made those notes onto my iPad, like on Notability. And I'm telling you, this took up so much time. And to the point, I was thinking, is this worth it? But it was really worth it when I could go and look back. So make notes in class. You can keep those notes or you can put them on your iPad or your laptop. Now, once you've made those notes, because chemistry is not very hard, it's very much, remember this statement, what is the empirical formula? What is the moles of carbon or something like that? Once you've done that, you need to commit this to memory now. So maybe instead of making notes from your class, make questions. That's what I say, make questions from your lecture. So let's say lesson. Let's say you had a lesson on organic chemistry. Make flashcards from it. What is an organic molecule? What is the molecular formula for carbon? Things like that. I don't remember this stuff, guys, I'm sorry, but I remember making flashcards, right? Then learn the flashcards. Simple. Sit down, learn them. You can use Anki, you can use Quizlet, you can use paper flashcards if you want to, but you need to commit that to memory. And the way to do it is active repetition and spaced, active recall and spaced repetition. So get your flashcards. What is the molecular formula of XYZ? Perfect. You did it today, do it tomorrow. Or if you don't do it every day, do it like every 2 days. Keep up with it because it will do, like, you will remember it. By the time you get to year 13, I'm telling you, these definitions will roll off your head. It's been coming up to 3 years for me, so sorry, but that's what I recommend. Now you've done your flashcards, the last thing you need to do is your exam questions. The beauty of A-level chemistry is that there's no theory. There is theory, don't get me wrong, but it's not A-level history. You know what I'm saying? Like, the chemistry is not changing. in your specification. You're not learning new groundbreaking science. The questions that I revised with from 2015 are very similar to what I sat in 2022. That is it. Okay? Attend your lessons. Make flashcards and questions from your lessons so you can learn the content. Reading and highlighting won't help. I knew a guy who actually flashcard or Anki'd or made questions from the whole thick AQA textbook, and he got an A star. You don't need to do all of that if you want to. Cameron, that's it. He works so hard, I can't lie. So do those things. Exam questions will be your best friend. I don't really believe in doing exam questions straight away. I think you need the foundation of knowledge first, which is what flashcards gives you. And then do your exam questions, give them to your teacher. If you're confused about anything, so I'm looking at myself. If you're confused about anything, give them to your teacher. They are the expert in their field. That's what my school liked to say, and they were. Now, if we're talking about paper 3 is flipping hard, and it's because it's based off your practicals. So number 1 lesson is understand your practicals. Please, guys, please. Because I had to learn them all in year 13. I remember when I had practical lesson, fun lesson. And I'm going to hopefully put some pictures of me in practicals here. Practical lesson, get your phones out and take pics. No, don't be like that. Actually understand the science that is going on. Most of the time your practicals won't work. That's not the point though. The point is that you've learned how to do it. You've done your risk assessment, you do all these things. So actually understand the science that's going on. Make notes of this as well. Make flashcards of this as well, because I'm telling you, it's coming up in paper 3. It's gonna be there. And then in AQA as well, there's multiple choice. And most of it is actually on organic chemistry from what I remember. So you need to just make sure that your notes are good, your flashcards are good, because that means that when you're confused, you can go back to it and actually just read up on it. How do I do a titration? How do I do all these things? Sorry guys, I don't remember my A-level chemistry content, but I remember it was hard, right? Now, that's my advice out the way, because that's all I have to give. Go to lessons, make your flashcards, do your exam questions. If you're stuck, ask your teachers. Have good friends to help you. Have friends that are serious about school. Please. The Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. You can't be trying to do really well in school and your friends aren't. It never works out. Either the person becomes like the friend, or they just leave them and move on. Okay, so that's the advice out the way. Now just for my story, because I love to chat. Yeah, wanted to become a doctor, did A-level chem. Year 12 was difficult, and at the end of it I got a B. So we have like mocks at the end, and I got an A in biology, a B in history, and a B in chemistry, and I was really sad. But kindly my teacher predicted me an A, so I could apply to med school. Thank you, Mr. Beach. Year 13 was awful. I used to cry in my lessons, genuinely. First time it happened, my teachers were concerned. Then it just became a thing like, oh yeah, this is what Nicole does, she cries in lessons. But I can't lie, I really did put in the work. I put in the work. Phone said storage full, so it's a clear sign for me to stop talking. But in summary, sorry, my head's doing a lot. In summary, year 13 was hard because I took on too much at once. I learned how to drive, I had a job, had year 13, was applying to medicine. But what helped when I got a tutor, I think I had her for like 3 months, but it was really helpful to have someone just go over the content with you, who knows what they're doing. That's what I recommend. If it's in the budget, please get a tutor, ask your parents, ask your family, ask your older sibling, can you please give me someone? Ask medical students as well, like just message them on TikTok because they're willing to do it. But I would say God will bless the work of your hands, he really will, because by the end of it, I was actually 10 marks away from an A star. Glory to Jesus. Sorry. My highest scoring paper as well was paper 3. Who would have thought? So yeah, work hard, put in the work. Putting in the work pays off. Just work smart, not hard. Do those flashcards, do those exam questions, you'll be more than fine. Any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you have teachers that aren't really like helping you, because like for example, my teacher still predicted me an A, even though I've been getting C's and B's. Pray first of all. The Bible says the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord and he turns it where it pleases. So pray and ask God, but then also just genuinely sit, explain to your teachers as well what your goal is. but also put in the work. My teachers saw me putting in the effort to get an A, so it wasn't even like they were a bit apprehensive, obviously, because they can't lie, but it wasn't blind hope. Like, they saw I was working, they saw I was giving them exam questions, they saw me coming to school early and studying, they saw me harassing them, emailing them, what does this mean, can I please give you a paper tomorrow, you know? The Bible says a good reputation is worth more than silver and gold. So do all those things and you'll be fine.